All right, here we go. Game 3. We've got a dominant performance so far from the league's best team, and realistically, all signs are pointing to JDG versus T1 in the finals of MSI. But Billy have looked strong. There have been windows where they have done good things in this game. They're going to need to chain together a few more of those if they want to actually make this game happen. But you just see like this all-star lineup on JDG, right? Ruler, S tier. Missing, Knight, Kanabi, all S tier. 369, not the best top laner in his region, but strong enough, right? And showing how good, how comfortable he is on Cassante. And they get it again. And this time we see Gwen into it. I do like Xayah a good deal more here. Plenty of wave clear. You have a little bit of engage potential here in this bot lane. Now we'll see Missing how he plays the Tahm Kench. Keria famously, and as you should, plays the lane very aggressively when he has Tahm Kench. And against a champion like Nautilus, you really want to. You're better in a fight once spells are on cooldown, right? And even going trade for trade, he hooked me, I tongue him, I gain my life back. It's going to be okay. So I like what they're doing here. Also, Xayah, not the best champion at level 1, which is okay, which is solid when you have Aphelios, right? Aphelios doesn't have a spell, but he does have access to these two weapons. And Tahm Kench is bullying the crap out of this lane. Man, I don't want to call anything too early, but when we're looking Lissandra being famously very good into Ahri, you have Tahm Kench that is bullying the Nautilus pick. You've got JDG grabbing Cassante and Wukong again. Like, they're going to check all the boxes. Their team fighting is going to be great. And their quote-unquote scaling lane, bot lane, is winning already. So, with a call start, should be noted. I believe that is all 3 games that they went for a call start in bot. Definitely something that can be punished. If you do get into these matchups, Dorn's Blade is the best way to get your all-in. In there, what you kind of see a rock, paper, scissors with Longsword and 3 potions versus Dorn's Blade and potion versus Cull. Dorn's Blade beats Cull. Cull beats Longsword. Longsword. Did I just do this backwards? Longsword and 3 pots beats Dorn. Right, so that is the little trinity. It's a small micro advantages, but it all matters, right? These players all know about this. And they're looking to get whatever window they can, so it's constantly a choice. And if you get a read on a champion or a player saying, hey, they always go Cull, then you should go Dorn's Blade and win your matchup. All right. Lissandra showing the pushing power that she has into Ahri. Ahri, as soon as level 3, if you put 2 points in Q, is able to 2-shot the backline. But it does take a little bit longer to get the whole wave in, whereas Lissandra is putting her empowered Qs through the wave. Oh, the chain CC, beautifully done. Lissandra trying to use the E to get away instead of just flashing, ends up getting punished. So, again, Knight dying and being the source of light for Billy. Not just that, but this wave is in a tremendously bad position for the Lissandra. 6 minions surviving going to the turret. So check this out. Dodging first half. Yeah, that's the point where you realize you can't go back up that hill. Might have thought that she was good to go there. Would have been okay with the E as a response to the charm. You get enough duration where you can land on the far side of it. But Vi coming in with Q-Flash is enough to shut that door. Cassante showing mastery of last hitting there, keeping those minions perfect for a Q and auto combo. It's a very tricky situation sometimes, but you just got to know your numbers. Now we'll see how JDG plays this top side pressure, right? With Cassante, Gwen. Now Gwen's passive doesn't really do that much against the Cassante. Right, you're not really denying any amount of information, and against this team in general, right? Maybe you get a position where Lissandra's not able to ult you, And definitely it's going to have some value against Aphelios. But against the Cassante is just happy to go punch for punch here. But again, we have a 10 CS deficit. Been doing his best to be the carry on this team. But previously they went with matching scalers in the bot lane. This time they finally go with Xayah saying, hey, we'll go for wave push, self peel, and catch assist in bot lane, which is a much better pairing, right? You want champions like Ashe and Xayah when your top lane is Gwen, right? You don't necessarily want Aphelios. So I like this adaptation. It is going to be scary though, right? Like the fact that Ruler still has his potion and 42 stacks on a cull versus Xayah having no potions, trying to play this lane more aggressively and not being able to, still being down in CS and bot prio. They lose Dragon because of it. I mean, everything is going in the favor of JDG's bot wave. The only big difference, right? You've got this first blood to Zune against Knight, right? So they do have a moment. They might be able to create some forward pressure here. Lissandra's build is going to be a little bit slower, going with commencing stopwatch. But you are going to see those big dive bomb plays, right? Especially your team wants to dive into me. I'm happy to lock up whoever it is or lock up myself as it happens. Sometimes you have these E dash into flash W or W flash. Love this rotation here by Tom Kench. Now, Ruler stepping up. Oh, okay, never mind. For a second, I thought Ruler had denied the Nautilus Q with his turret, which would have been incredible. But able to survive in the 1v2 lane. And now they're switching flash forward to try to get onto Xayah before she has her ultimate. Are they going in? Are they going to continue this? No. Knight was incapable of getting the ult off. How? Why? Went for flash W, was not able to get the rest. Yeah, that's just a miss in execution. So a lot of time, a lot of manpower and spells being used down here. Ends up going for the ultimate on the Nautilus because they just can turn that into the pick. Could it have been a mana issue? Had Knight put himself at like -4 mana? That's why he couldn't get the ultimate off? Could be. All right, good job by Zund realizing that the play is in bot lane. That means a free Rift Herald for me. Very good timing. No one needs to even change what they're doing. Gwen is just going to excel in this point in the lane with her Leeching Leer. Different champion once she gets the Rift Maker. But definitely doing all right for herself here. So look at this position. That's not even waiting, saying, yeah, we're down here. What do you think you're dodging? No, he said Knight definitely had enough mana because they just used it all right here. Using the flash, I don't know if I like that. I mean, you're just, I know I don't like that. You're definitely not getting out, right? And even if you are, to what purpose? To what end, right? Now you've got no flash and you're not going to be able to take care of this bot lane. And now you do have Aphelios Tomkench that are going to hit 6 before you. Oh, big play. Q into flash into all of Gwen's damage is enough, and they get it. Extra resistances and everything. Beautifully played. The Vi engages have been spot on. All right, so 2 for 1. 2 kills to 1. Up almost a K. Gwen is going to be expressing this lead right now as she comes out of the shop. The other one being Vi. Vi's going to be very quick to this Divine Sunderer. And we'll see if they're able to spike that. They probably should be able to. This is enough of a lead, and specifically on the 2 champions that you want it to carry through the early game. Gwen's going to be able to exacerbate this lead up in top lane. Vi is going to be looking for these plays. And she probably has it done with these 2 jungle camps being done. She almost definitely. I'll just say she's got to have it. Divine Sunder plus Control Ward are going to be on the docket for this Vi as she finishes Krugs. Maybe even enough for an extra like boots or cloth armor. Now, once you do, what do you do once you get it, right? So they've got the Rift Herald in pocket. Still hasn't used. They could have used it to get an even bigger jump from the Vi. Now Vi is sticking around. This can't be right. I mean, could she be shy? There's no way she's shy on money, right? Are they deciding to just hold out right here, saying like, hey, we know that we're going to be fighting for this dragon. I want to be in position, and we have a chance. My ult's here, right? So I have a chance of just ulting somebody if they go for a contest. But it's at the cost of not having Divine Sunder for this fight. All right, so it's because they want to get the Rift Herald down. I don't like this, right? You could have just backed with an empowered recall, bought your items, and then come back. So this has to be because she's missing gold. Ends up going with Black Cleaver. But look at this, has a full longsword. So that can't, the 2 plates that they just split with mid, that's not the difference. That's not the difference in being able to get your item or not. So I really would have preferred to see Vi making that play earlier, getting back. You did not need the extra longsword here. Now you'd be dropping the Rift Herald, and now you'd be moving over towards the dragon. And what is the enemy team going to do? Gwen's stronger in her lane. Rift Herald's barreling down mid. And you've got Vi, strongest person in the game, coming over. But because we have Black Cleaver done compared to Divine Sunderer, Wukong is actually going to be happy in these 1v1s. Both with magical footwear. Not going to be afraid of the Black Cleaver. They actually step up and say, hey, you guys were late to the play. Vi backed off. That is entirely on Zun. Just a bad decision there. Needs improvement. Good job by JDG punishing the window. Elk, of course, going to be very happy on the spot lane with Xayah. Happy to stand alone. Not much engage potential from a Tahm Kench. No way for him to get all 3 procs on you. Even if he tries to jump on you, you could just ultimate away if you thought that you can just juke it out. Maybe once there's a Gravitum gun from the Aphelios, then you can have Tahm Kench jumping over the top of you, leapfrogging. Then you get the slow, the root into the tongue for the stun. But until that's all showing, and even if that's all showing, you just use your ultimate. So, Xayah very happy in this situation. I like that shallow ward there. Keep it out of range of the control wards. For that reason, you really want to hold your ward and hold it into this spot right there on the edge. You can get it. So let's see. Dash in. They're going for Tahm Kench. Stacks. Look at the stacks. The chakrams on the Aphelios. They call back. They say we got to go out. No, but we have the flash is back up on Nautilus. They decide to go back for it as the stacks are going away. And the dash. Gale Force still gets charmed. But that's going to be it, right? This has to be the end of this. No dragon to claim. You do have a Rift Herald coming up. 56 seconds. Knight going for an immediate root. Good job by Elk continuing the damage. Not being afraid there. I wonder if Knight just did that to buy some space for the team so that they could get these clean recalls off. I love what they're doing. Coincided recall, which means that they are going to have inside track. It is a hex map, so they are going to be able to get there quicker. But I don't see anybody moving straight over. We do see Aphelios going over to mid lane. Lissandra stays in bot. This is perfect. But Wukong starting on Wolves. I wonder if he's going to just try to take Wolves before going on to the left. Might mean that he's close to level 9. Yeah, and we do see that. Goes Wolves into topside. Not going for the Gromp, right? This is something, if you're watching a game and you're a jungler, it is so easy to autopilot and go for that Gromp. But if you go for that Gromp, you're costing your team 25 seconds, right? 5 seconds to get there, 15 seconds more to travel, and then you're 5 seconds late wherever you're going. 20 to 25 seconds are down if you go for it. Instead, he's there in time, only getting the red, but also has not hit level 9. So I wonder if he even had to take the Wolves. Might have just been a nod like, hey, let me get something on my side before risking getting counter jungled. But they're able to take this river. And there you go. Yeah, Nautilus sees that there's no wolf camp. So Zun will not be able to profit a net +1 camp there. Ooh, going in, goes for the engage. Do they go for the Tahm Kench? I imagine yes. The simpler take is go for Tahm Kench. They get it. They get an ultimate on Aphelios in Divine Knockup. They're going to be able to get this. Ruler flashing into the ult. Able to get out and away from the Gwen. Oh no. Kanabi bites the dust. Yeah, good job by Zun stepping up. What I don't like is right, your team has won the Rift Herald. You are winning the top side of the map. On that moment, why are we even coming close to an engage window from the Eastern Quadrant, right? So Vi coming over Raptors, coming out of River, Nautilus coming out of River, and Vi coming out of the Raptor. Like, this is a mistake by missing to be this far up. Now, that is the very edge of the range. It does end up going for this. It looks like we have, what is that, Bloodthirster probably first done on Aphelios to be as tanky as possible. Only 2 people hit with the Gravitum. Oh, beautiful. Charm Flash from the Ahri to get that pick, jumping over the minions to do it. So full mastery of the champion, as we expect to see, especially a champion that's been put up. Look at this chain CC. He's going to alter. And Lissandra jumps over with them. Oh, my good. Brutal combination there, showing the amount of lockdown that Cassante and Lissandra have together. Kind of have taken over as like the premier pit champions. There are a couple that you might have over Cassante, but like, just see such a big body, able to warp people out of the pit, either peeling or engaging. Lissandra has kind of always been the best at it from mid lane. Love to see when she gets picked. Normally you see teams that are going to pick Ahri, they want to ban Lissandra. And we didn't get that. So, they are showing enough strength elsewhere. The Xayah is getting totally farmed. The Vi is huge. And, Gwen is insanely large as well. Probably hasn't missed a CS or missed more than 10 all game. So Gwen is going to be very, very big. Now, how are they going to approach the end of this game? As they're stepping into the mid game, how do they want to go forward? Where are the wards going to be? We see 6 of them littered in the bot side river with 5 minutes till till Dragon. So these are going to linger. They're going to let them fade out. We're going to see Nautilus replenish the ward stock and start moving into the top side because, of course, Baron's spawning 2 minutes before. Now, if you do get a standoff, you have to be very, very careful against this team. Cassante, Wukong, and Lissandra all have long-range engage. But if you get this pick, then that'll be enough. All the upfront damage. Ooh, uses the R. Uses the R on Vi while she's unstoppable, so it gets the maximum distance without bringing the Vi away. Very interesting interaction. Nautilus trying to peel desperately here. If the kill goes over to Xayah, that's absolute best case scenario here. We're not going to have... Oh, worst case scenario. You actually wanted to get hit by the Vi there. Looks like he was trying to get the execute, but with Xayah getting it, that's going to be tremendous for them. Probably going to see a fast Infinity Edge now with that kill. But she's a decent amount away. She's actually probably pretty close. But rest of red team, while Cassante is taking them on a fantastic voyage, they do get damage in mid. So that's going to stick. And now, as blue team starts setting up for Baron, right, especially if Gwen's going to split, normally when you create that 4-1 split and you go for presence in the river, you are a little bit susceptible to 5 champions just barreling down mid. Gwen may not desire to come and try to flank, right? Not that kind of champion. Does want to arrive to the fight last, but also worth noting, did go flash instead of ghost here. You saw a lot of a lot of ignite teleports and then ghost teleports from Gwen's. No way. They're going to get this play again. Back to back, same exact play. Knight's going to suffer for this, lands on it. Oh my god, the team's going to wipe here. Self-ulting, but yeah, they can just carry this fight as they go forward. Self-ult into Zhonya's. Now all your tools are done. This is going to be BLG. Billy going to win this. Now, correctly by Ruler saying, I'm not contesting this. I'm going to go break it down in mid, and we're going to send We don't have teleports actually to send anyone to bot lane, but it looks like Wukong's going to go take care of that. So Tahm Kench is going to hover. I would have actually liked them to go and push and deal damage here in the middle turret. Missed opportunity. They do want to get the gold that will help them get back into the game, but that damage in mid would have stuck, and you could have gotten probably 2/3 of that turret, if not the whole thing down very quickly, right, with 5 champions on the Baron. And if that goes down, then you have an avenue to win from. They end up trying to rotate to bot late and get nothing for it. Ari's able to pick up the wave, push it in. Lissandra's going to go pick it up, do a little ping pong back and forth. And let's see how much Billy looks to get in this jungle. Ari, I don't like the idea that she's hovering top. She may want to go pick up that wave, but that wave's actually in a pretty good spot. May even just be stacking for her. It's very close. Tough to see from here. You're looking for like a 5 versus 7 minion wave at that point. And if it is, then it'll just kind of stick there, it'll freeze up. But Ari deciding to push it and teleport to middle to try to answer. Oh no, Gwen just put that control word down, potentially to try to give a teleport target, but they get the pick. Ari's nowhere close to being in position, gets nothing in the top wave, pushes mid. All right, so what you do get is 2 waves denied, 1 mid and 1 top. There is going to be a little bit of damage coming in on the middle as well, but JDG is going to look to take this window to go force the dragon. But these champions are strong, right? You had to use abilities. Wukong ultimate is down. 5 champions. Let's see if they try to hover around this dot bush. Yagao is taking a different angle, but letting them all know that he's coming by going over there. Dash is in. Oh my goodness. Gets popped. I do not like that play at all. At that point, the only cooldown advantage you had was the Wukong ultimate. Right? So being 4 versus 5, that can be all right if enemy team has no cooldowns, but in a position like that seemed ambitious. Gwen looking for her revenge. Tahm Kench says, all right, I accept. But we've got 3 dragons now. Ocean Dragon at that. Could spell a little bit of trouble. Again, we see moments of brilliance from Billy, but then some fumbles. I do like that they're willing to pull the trigger, though. That is absolutely going to behoove them in internationals, right? So far, I don't know. They'll probably be the 3rd best team of the tournament, maybe 4th, based on what they're showing. All right, 3 dragons down, but 3K in the gold lead. Most of it being on Vi. Expect to see adjacent pushes here. All right, they do have the teleport. They could send Gwen into the far lane, but with their lead, they actually want to create these fights, and they need to make sure that they're never, ever picked out by Lissandra. So for that reason, Gwen is always going to be a little bit closer. And able to influence these fights, right? So this is what you want. 4 in one lane, and the adjacent lane is the Gwen. Perfect. Now, as an answer, you could go 1-3-1. You can even go 2-1-2 in some weird spots. You can go 2-2-1. As an answer to a 3-1-3, it tends to be the best. But against 4 people, very risky, especially if they have someone like Vi Nautilus that are capable of diving. And again, everyone on this team except Gwen has CC. So they will be able to close in on a kill on anyone besides Cassante, right? Lissandra would have to self-ulti or get Zhonya's in response to the first half of the engage. But look at this continued pressure, right? They got shallow wards, right, just on the beach into the northern quadrant, but they use that as enough to kind of leverage. They start swing back and forth a little bit, and then when you catch JDG rotating towards the middle part of the quadrant, that's when you can go up and show a strength there in the top side. So they do exactly that, get themselves some gold. That is going to be Chain Vest for Vi, so much harder to take down in these fights now. Gwen looking... This cannot be a completed item, right? Okay, that makes more sense. Most of a Morello Namicon. Interesting going for the Morello. In this case, you do have Cassante with all of the vamp that he gets, plus Aphelios with that first item, Blood Thirster. So you do want to be able to negate some of that, but there's not that much on the team. Just a very nice item, though, in general. Navori Quickblade's done on the Xayah, of course, right? I think I said Infinity Edge, but of course, Navori Quickblades. Even Shroud done by Nautilus, so expect anyone who gets hooked to blow up with this combination of Black Cleaver and Even Shroud. You've got all the shred that you need on the team. Cosmic Drive is going to allow the Gwen. Now, this is not the current rendition of Cosmic Drive, and I do believe that the new one is the one that will show up at MSI. Now, Yagao, again, using the dash to fly around on the backside of the team, but taking some damage. It's just enough to kite, but are they going to lose the fight now because of it? Yagao has to flash. If they know, missing and Kanavi taking a very roundabout way, they take a moment to dodge skill shots, and it causes them to not be able to close the scissors, meet the anvil to the hammer coming in. But they do get the one kill. Yagao, who, had overstepped to do the zoning, was the price to pay. Completed Lord Doms and red buff now for Xayah. She's going to be strong. This is going to be a problem for them. They've got two ways to try to dive. Nautilus can peel one, or Vi can peel one, and Xayah can self-peel herself for the other. It's going to be very difficult for them to get to her, so Xayah has the upper hand in these fights for sure. I do believe the only person on 3 items in the game. We'll check that in a second. Look at all the wards in there. Yep, pull it out. Now, Nautilus jumping over. Let's see if Cassante decides to just isolate him and say, hey, I'm going to take this fight. Hold on. They keep the aggro. They say, let's put the pressure on them. Cassante is just ripping into this Nautilus the whole time. They get the engage onto Yagao. They step up. Vi is able to get the smite. Now, Kanavi flashing for this means that the team does not have him. They can be in big trouble. We get the double Zanyas again from Knight, but the continuation, where is it going to be? This is all play skill here as it comes in. The area of effect damage from Vi and Xayah and Gwen is just too much. Too long without a Wukong. Kanavi feeling like they could have it. It felt like there was split comms there. Like, hey, we have a chance at getting this pick, or hey, we can take this isolated fight. But that team wants to do the 5v5. Cassante versus Nautilus finally ends a minute and 45 seconds later. Cassante, of course, being victorious, because don't ever say it's over. But, you're the only one breathing, Cassante, so I might be over for the rest of the team. We'll see if he tries to... Yep, good job kiting the abilities. You get a little bit of extra defense from the Tahm Kench, but it is just not enough. And, of course, at this point in the game, a Tahm Kench is just frog legs. And they pop out in the face of the respawns. Didn't want to skill check the 3v3. No reason to do it. The game is in checkmate. No structures on the entire bottom half of the map. So those supers are going to present game-ending scenarios, and the Baron as well. So check out the position on this fight. Kanavi going deep for Yagao, and I really don't like this because this was the weakest player on their team. Right? You had Xayah, Gwen, and Vi that are all massive problems, and now you don't have the Wukong. Look how good a Wukong ultimate would have been right there. That would have won the fight, straight up. So instead, Kanavi, finally catches his tail. I think Kanavi got a little bit excited going after that tail, and, team loses the fight because of it. All right, so expect Gwen in the mid lane, 4 people in top. We're going to see a lot of vision laid into this northern quadrant. Probably 4 control wards. We see 2 of them out. We see a couple more in the inventory. And they're going to fight for these positions, right? No reason not to. If you're JDG, you have to find an opening before the super makes it past Gromp. Okay, if the super makes it past Gromp, then you cannot take fights, because by the time the fight is over, the super will be welling on your base, and at that point, it's too late. So we've got, looks like, one more wave that they can wait, and then they just have to pull the trigger. Now, the reason you see this Gwen in mid lane and 4 in top, right, with the vision support in the middle, of course, Gwen is the sturdiest of them all. So she's happy. She can take 1v1s and even some 1v2s here. So she'll bring in this wave. Now, what you'd like to see is the waves coming in at the same time. If you have Baron, you can stagger 1 and then 1, because you can have all the extra resistances from having Baron buff. But as there's no Baron buff here, you'd like to stagger them and have them show up at the same time. Now, I say stagger and same time because mid lanes will get there faster, right? Mid lane wave is going to get there 12 seconds faster. So you either need to have a gummed up previous wave waiting, but basically you have to kind of draw a line diagonal like this, and that's going to tell you where the waves need to be and which one you should wave clear faster. Gwen got a little bit overeager on that last one and ended up pushing the wave in. And you see what it happens. JDG is able to just kind of go side to side and pick up the waves as they want it. Now, another point of attack that Billy could use is to put Gwen in the bot lane and put the 4 opposite, right? You could go either in mid or in top. And say, hey, we're just escorting the super in. But again, it's timing based. You want to make sure that super is getting into their base as your wave is coming, right? So that they have to deal with the super and the people that are charging into the base. This is the most deadly spot for the super to be, right? This wave is going to die, but it's shallow enough that Lissandra's can be able to collect it, send it back, and overall, Billy not getting much done with this Baron buff. Kind of just syncopating. They're getting things a little bit off on the beat. They need to be on the same beat, on the top of the beat even, together. Now we are going to have an interesting stake off potentially right here. They know they can't fight this. They have to deal with the supers in bot wave, big wave pushing in top. Do they try to just get mid priority? Right, if JDG is able to win the push in mid, then they can seed the Baron and go get the soul. Now, it's not something that you want to do, but when you're down 8k and you're not really fighting for this Baron, it's usually the best option available. But Kanabi showing on top is a colossal misplay. That is unacceptable. It can't be Kanabi going for it, right? It's got to be your teleporters or Lissandra that can clear it quickly. Once Kanavi shows, you know that they're not on Dragon, and now they just get to take everything. And they're going to have triple Hex now. So all these catch abilities are going to be amped, ready, rearing to go. Xayah with the self-peel, you can leave her alone while the team dives. Now, 5 people down in bot. I don't like this split. You should have Gwen up in the middle. They may just try to power this down with 5 people, seeing as there's no turret. You do have the range advantage here. Xayah will get outranged while Green Gun is available, and here's the engage. It has to be now. You have to go all in, and you have to get lucky. Been showing how strong Gwen is. Oh my goodness, Conqueror just going off. But they did open a window. They left an opportunity there. So Billy, a lot of things they've got to clean up. They're winning a game against the best competition, but, let's try to dot our I's and cross our T's.